Many organizations face a similar challenge as they begin to centralize and secure their applications with Azure Active Directory. The challenge is what to do with mission-critical applications that make use of legacy authentication methods such as header-based and Kerberos. Hello, my name is Greg Coward and I'm a solution architect with F5, and in the following demonstration we'll take a look at how F5's APM guided configuration integrates with Azure AD to simplify securing and modernizing these legacy applications. For this demonstration, we'll be working with Sarah Corp, a small firm that has just begun to deploy services with Azure AD. Sarah, the administrator, has already configured the organization's Azure AD domain. In addition, she's also deployed a few SaaS applications, as well as an on-premises application that's published via the Big IP. The Big IP with APM includes a guided configuration, which simplifies the deployment process. This handy utility will configure the Big IP's various resources and features, as well as the enterprise application resources required in the Azure Active Directory. From the guided configuration start page, I'll select the Microsoft Integration tab and click on Azure Application. I'm presented with a graphic illustrating the authentication flow I'll be deploying, as well as a brief description of the various resources and features that will be configured for this application. To start with, I'll provide a name for my deployment, enable single sign-on, and provide my Azure Service Principal credentials. These credentials are required to enable configuration and management of the Azure AD application resource. The Big IP uses SAML 2.0 to federate with Azure AD and provide single sign-on to the backend applications. I'll provide information to identify the application's service provider endpoint, including the host and entity ID. In this case, it corresponds to the corporate site's URL. To configure the Azure AD application, I'm provided with a selection of application-specific templates, as well as a general-purpose application template. I'll provide a friendly name for the published application. Additionally, I'll select a certificate which I have pre-installed on my Big IP. This will be used for signing SAML assertions. I'm also able to grant access to Azure AD users and, preferably, groups. The corporate site utilizes header-based authentication and requires the employee's ID number for authentication. So, in addition to the standard claims, I need to add an additional claim that will be passed within the SAML assertion to the Big IP. On the virtual server page, I'll provide the IP address and ports for the application. I'll include an HTTP redirect as well. I'll create a new SSL profile using the certificate and key that I previously installed in the Big IP. I'll create a new backend pool for my legacy application. For pool members, I'll specify the address and port of the application's endpoints, which will receive load balanced traffic. In this example, however, I only have a single backend pool member. As previously mentioned, the corporate site utilizes header-based authentication. In addition to the default authorization header, I need to pass a couple additional headers. The employee ID header is mapped to the additional claim I specified on a previous page. For the name header, I will map it to one of the default claims that were received. For session management, I'm going to go ahead and accept the default settings. All that's left now is to deploy the application. Okay, with the application deployed, let's take a look at it in the Azure portal. I'll give the application list a quick refresh. And voila, the new Azure AD application has been created. Okay, let's see. We have a group assigned. Single sign-ons configured. All right, let's test it out. To test, I'll log into the Microsoft My Apps portal as one of our AseraCorp users, Harvey. And as you can see, the application has been published and is now available alongside the firm's other SaaS applications and will provide seamless single sign-on and single sign-off experience to the end user. In the event I need to modify the application, I have the ability to manage the existing deployment from the big IP. I can modify the existing configuration or roll back the deployment entirely.